Hey guys, it's me, Kirby, here, and today we're going to be doing a tier list. No, it's not going to be a tier list about Plants vs. Zombies because I'm tired and bored of Plants vs. Zombies. So we're going to be doing a tier list on Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. Yes, I will be reviewing several Five Nights at Freddy's fan games and seeing which are good and which are bad. Okay, so the first game we have is Chuck E. Cheese Rebooted, and I gotta say, this game is pretty good. This game is pretty terrifying, as it should be. The point of a Fnaf fan game, it has to match the tone and the ominous, scary feeling of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and I think it does that pretty well. I love the animatronic designs. It feels realistic. It looks like the actual Chuck E. Cheese designs that were absolutely terrifying in the 1900s or whenever the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics were created. And it has an overall really good vibe and ambience. Overall, it's a very scary game. I feel like the only problems with this game is it feels a little bit slow sometimes. Like, it's the usual click and, get away from the animatronics game. It's like I feel it's probably made in like Team Fusion, I'm not sure though. But it has a unique feeling to it. It's actually makes it scary, and rather than just click away and do this, do that. That is the whole premise of it. To just click and avoid. That's what a Five Nights at Freddy's game is. So I guess in a way it makes sense. So that's why I'm giving this game an A tier. Yeah, it's pretty good. This game is pretty gloomy. It's depressing. It's sad. It's supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be gloomy. It's black and white. It has this very strange filter in it. And that's okay. In fact, it makes the game creepier in a way. I was very nervous the whole time I was playing this game because I really didn't know what to do at first. It's really hard for me to pay attention sometimes, so in the second night I was kind of stuck for a little bit, but overall I was able to play the game fairly well. But I was just nervous the whole time because like any step and I could die. The jump scares are terrifying. I generally get scared for the jump scares. There's a lot of games here that have very cheap jump scares, and it's overall just very scary, the game itself, not just the jump scares, the vibe. I say that a lot, but it really matters. The vibe is very important to a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. It has to have a good, scary, creepy ambience. And this game does. It does. It's very, very scary in my opinion. The only problems I have with this game that kind of makes it a B tier, average. Well, not average. It's like average good. Is that it gets a little bit boring sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. There's not much to do in this game. It's mostly just click, walk, and get away, which is fine because it still gives an overall creepy vibe. It builds up the creepiness. So that's why I'm not giving it a C, etc. Because it's still very scary. That's what a Five Nights at Freddy's game is. So I'm giving it a B tier. So I had a hard time ranking this game because it seems like the creator is very much aware that it is a lazy and kind of dumb game. Not gonna lie, no offense, but I guess it's fine because it's on purpose. But even if it's on purpose, the gameplay is really boring. It's just if you see an enemy, you have to press a specific button or you have to press a specific thing on your keyboard. It's not really much clicking. Unless you gotta play the sound when Baldi's in the middle of the hall or something like that. And you just have to use the tips, and there's nothing to it. There's no story, there's no just gameplay that's not that engaging, to be honest. There's not much to talk about this game. It's not that big of a game. I'm gonna rank it a D tier because it's really not that good. Bubba's Diner, I really don't know what to say about it. It's not a bad game. It's actually, I like the animatronic designs. I like that it's about Bubba. Bubba's the best character ever. And it has one of the best gaming scenes in the whole entire Five Nights at Freddy's industry. But apart from that, it's kind of a easy game. Like in the office scenes, you can really just click on the audio to make them stay in place and they don't do anything. There's no like stakes. There's nothing you should have to worry about. I like that there's different tasks to do, of course. It brings more uniqueness to the game rather than just sitting there and doing stuff with like your mouse cursor. But it's not that great, honestly. The office games are not that good, but everything else I liked. I found the toilet scene hilarious. The classical music goes amazing, and for some reason I like the phone guy. He's just so enthusiastic. So I'm probably gonna give this game an average tier. It's not bad. This game is mid. I'm gonna say it. This game is mid. The game is not bad. It's not horrible. I had some kind of fun playing it, I guess. I'm not gonna lie. I just stood there playing on my Rubik's Cube every now and then because there was not much to do. It's really easy to find out the animatronic. It's really easy to win the night. Sometimes it gets a little bit challenging, but overall it's just eh. The jump scares are really bad. I'm sorry, but the animations are just so silly. The scream sounds like something from Jurassic Park. But I guess it's not a bad game. I'm not gonna complain about it. I at least I enjoyed it a little bit. So next game in this tier list is Baby's Nightmare Circus. I gotta say, this game is really good in terms of graphics, gameplay, and overall models. It's really fun to play. Some of these Fnaf games kinda get boring after like 3 nights, but this game kinda just keeps your attention the whole time. There's so much to do in the game. It's really scary, the jump scares are great, the story is great, there's extras, there's collectibles you can collect. Some other spin-offs of this game that the creator has created that I won't be rating in this tier list because it's not really like a Fnaf fan. Well, it is, don't get me wrong, but I'm only kind of rating the horror games. That's why I put a non-scary section in the tier list. So overall, I give it an S tier. This game is weird, this game is strange. Straight up, I don't really like this game or the creator in general. In the game, they make Purple Guy not just a child murderer, but also a pedophile. And now he's in purgatory for it. His name is not William Afton in the game, but still. I'm gonna try to deviate the art from the artist, but the artist is the creator itself is a horrible person. I'm not the right channel to explain what he's done or what he said. But he's a messed up guy. This game is the story is horrible. It's bull. But I guess gameplay wise, it's good. I think the animatronics are good. I like the purgatory vibe to it. But I don't know. I don't really know what to think about this. Before I recorded the clips, I learned all about the stuff that's happened. I'm still gonna rate it in terms of gameplay. The story kind of just brings it down. There was no reason for to make him the way he was. Like, there's some elements that you could put in a Five Nights at Freddy's story. I just feel this was kind of strange and uncalled for, especially knowing what the creator has done. I was kind of struggling where to put this game because it's just a replica of like Sister Location Custom Night kind of. There's like some like differences of course, but like the mechanics of the different characters are just Sister Location Custom Night, but like Minecraft. Yeah. So I'm just gonna give it a C tier. I mean, the gameplay's kind of janky. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's very laggy sometimes. I don't know if it's on my computer, if it's the gameplay itself, but it's so janky. It feels so odd. There's not much to talk about this game. There's not really much to it. So I'm gonna give it a C tier. This game is great. This game is really good. There's so much to do in this game. The graphics are great. The story is great. Well, I have trouble figuring out the story, but I like the story overall. I like the animatronic designs. I like what to do in this game. It's not just, you're not just sitting on an office. You're doing several stuff at once, and that's what I like in a Fnaf fan game. Something that feels different, but still has that charm that the original Five Nights at Freddy's game had. So I'm gonna give it an A tier straight up. I could talk about this game a lot. Same goes to Baby's Nightmare Circus. Same goes to Chuck E. Cheese Rebooted. This game is great. The only bad thing I could think about is there's some levels that are a bit too difficult. Like one of the beginning levels, I couldn't figure out at first. I think there's tips, but it was a bit difficult to understand what to do. This game is It's like an game. It's a C tier. Maybe, yeah, it's a C tier. I don't really see the appeal to this game. It's kind of like a boring, just normal Five Nights at Freddy's game. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not absolutely horrible. But it's just, there's not much to it. There's nothing unique about it. Something I like about some fan games is that it brings a uniqueness to the Five Nights at Freddy's series. It adds something that the game hasn't. I think that's what fan games should be. But I don't know, this game is just a normal click and survive, as I said for some other games, which is fine for some games if you use it wisely, but this game doesn't really use much to it. It's just a normal Fredbear's Family Diner game. There's like tons of these, and I'm not gonna review all of them because like a lot of them are just the same. It's still fine though. I was still entertained. This is exactly how normal Five Nights at Freddy's office game should be. This is a really good example of it. I know I said I don't really like the typical Five Nights at Freddy's games where you just sit in an office and click, but this is different. I love the graphics, I love the different concepts of the different animatronics. I love the designs. I always pay attention to the animatronic designs, and some are kind of bland, but these are great. I love the environment. It just feels like the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 game. It's perfect. I used to play this game a lot. Now I don't really play it anymore, but now that I rediscovered it, I love it. Amazing game. S tier. I'm a bit conflicted about Bonnie Simulator because it's like, I know it's not supposed to be a scary game, so it should belong with Chica Simulator and Bonnie. Both simulators should be on the non-scary related games, but at the same time it is a scary game, so I'll still be rating it based on the gameplay, etc. Bonnie Simulator is good while it lasts. What I mean by that is after a while, like 5 turns or 5 tries, you start to get a bit bored or disinterested. You kind of start to lose interest about it because you're like, oh, it's kind of the same thing. I know you could do other stuff too, but it's pretty much the same deal. Just click and try to be lucky. I mean, yeah, it's not a bad game per se. None of these are ever bad games. You're just a bit boring sometimes or unappealing to me. So I'm gonna give it an average rating. It's not horrible. And on to Chica Simulator. I'm gonna be upfront and say that Chica Simulator is a much better game than Bonnie Simulator, because in Bonnie Simulator the problem was that it got boring. There's nothing to do much in Bonnie Simulator. But in Chica Simulator, there's a lot to do. There's mini games, there's several other characters that you can play as. It still gets a bit boring sometimes, because again, it's kind of still the same ordeal, but it has a unique aspect to it. Yeah, overall this is a higher tier than Bonnie Simulator, only because it has so much more to do. I like Fredbear and Friends Reboot. It's like the 50th Fredbear fan game. Don't know if I'm exaggerating or not, but I really like it. It's definitely an A tier. I like some free roam games sometimes. Some of them are kind of broken. Security Breach is much more broken than this game, funny enough. But I still like this game. It's nice. I like the interactions. I like the animatronics. I like everything about this game. Obviously it has its problems, its glitches, its weird stuff, but overall it's a good game. I'll give it an A tier. There's not much to talk about this game, but I like it. I feel there's way too much Fredbear fan games, but I guess it's a good if it's executed well, like some of these Fredbear games that I've rated before, then yeah, go ahead. Okay, so this game I'm a bit conflicted on because this is when I started noticing a pattern with a lot of these fan games. There's a formula for all these games that are kind of like Click Team Fusion games or like 2D where you stay in the office. Sometimes it feels like the same premise. I'm gonna put it in a B tier, of course. It's not a bad game. I actually like the animatronics. I like that how withered they look in a way. I know that there's another, I think, version of this game that's way better. But this game is still B tier. I feel like Shadow over Freddy's is the best B tier out of all these games. I could move it to A tier, but I want to keep it in a very high B, only because of the reasons I gave. This game isn't bad. Sometimes the bad part about these games is when you start doing it for 5 nights, 6, 7 maybe, and maybe the 6th night and the 7th get a little bit different, it's still the same concept. And a lot of these games do it good, and this game does it fine. So I'm gonna give it a B tier. It's a good game. Ultra Custom Night is not scary at all. It's okay, well, sometimes it could be unexpected, the jump scares, and it could scare you every now and then. It's not a scary game. It's not disturbing like Shadow over Freddy's, and it's not unsettling like Fredbear and Friends. But the reason why I'm giving it a C tier is because of the amount of effort that went into this game. There's hundreds of characters, so many. Any you can think of, Fnaf and Freddy's canon related, or the fan game fanverse, they're in this game. So much. There's different mechanics. The jump scares are just PNG images, but I don't care. It's an S tier. You can mod, you can buy stuff, you can buy skins. It's a really high effort game. You can tell there's passion put into several Fnaf fan game creators. I'm in the server and it's such a good game. The creator has made other Ultimate Custom Night games, but this one is the most high effort of them all. I'm gonna give it an S tier. This game is, I didn't really like it at all. It's actually one of my least favorite fan games. It's a Fnaf and Freddy's fan game, but without cameras. Yeah, no cameras. There's no cameras at all. And you'd probably wonder, okay, so that makes it more of a challenge. No, it doesn't. You can see them in the screen. They're like rectangles, and you can just put on the mask when you see them, and they go away. And here's a twist, you can just keep the mask on the whole time for the first few nights, and you win. There's no challenge to this game. Sometimes they trick you into thinking they left, and then they like come back quickly and they could jump scare you, but this game really has no stakes or challenge. This game is a D tier. I haven't given anything an F tier because there's nothing really here that has made me have to give an F tier. This one's a low D. I was thinking of making it an F tier, same with the Bodies game. I'm gonna keep it a D tier because it's not horrible. I was very conflicted in whether or not to put this game in a B tier or an S tier, but I kept a C tier.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Look, okay guys, okay, I know. Why am I making it C tier? Well, that's because this game is not that good. Okay, the aesthetic is really good. I like the VHS aesthetic, the vintage aesthetic, you could say. I like that you can see the POV of the animatronics. I think that was pretty cool. And like this little like sunglasses guy, I forgot, I don't know what they are, like these 8-bit glasses. That's pretty cool too. But I don't know if I'm missing something, but where's like the story or like anything? It feels so random. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I don't know who these characters are. It's so random sometimes. But I mean, it's not a bad game. I had fun sometimes. There's some problem with free roam games is they're super broken, but this game is not bad. C tier. Okay, for some reason I'm going in the sequel to the first game, but it doesn't matter because there's no like overarching story, so I can just play the sequel and do the first game and not miss out on anything. This is the exact same thing as the first game. There's no changes, there's nothing to improve, there's nothing better, there's nothing worse. It's the same C tier as the second game. There's not much to talk about it. Again, I like the overlay, the pleasing aesthetic, but everything else, no dance, really, makes it a lower tier to be honest. But overall, game. Look, I know all these games have been quick reviews. That's because I'm reviewing several fan games. When I say several, I mean every fan game I could find that's a little bit popular or well known or just not mediocre at some games in the GameCube page. But Final Nights 2, it's the same thing as the other games. There's not much to talk about them. Sorry, I don't know what to say about Final Nights 2. It's not a bad game, but it's just, again, it's average tier. I don't really have anything to say. I like the first I like the beginning cutscene. I like when games have Sorry, my mic died. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I like the beginning cutscene. The cutscene's good. Sorry, that was my baby brother. Anyways, I like the cutscene. Their animatronics aren't that bad, but some of them are kind of recolors, I could tell. It's not a bad game. These Final Nights games are average at most, but I used to play them a lot. They're memorable. Dude, this game is really hard. Like, I was struggling the first night. You have to close Nightmare Balloon Boy or whatever, its closet, and then you have to go run to the door and close like the Fredbear or the Spring Bonnie guy, and then you have to go to the puppet and make sure that he's not like close. So then you gotta close the closet, and you can't sleep if the puppet is up close. There's like so much to do. So that's why it's a C tier, guys. I'm sorry. Some of these 5 Final Nights games are just C tier. But there's one upcoming that kind of makes it different. One upcoming game of the Final Nights series that really changes my perspective on this series. Final Nights 4 is a B tier game. Look, I know. B tier? Shouldn't it be A or S? No. There's some parts of the game that I don't really like. The puppet game, the beginning of the game, I didn't really like that much. There wasn't much to do in that game. I love the design of the puppet, but kind of just like made me bored in a way. I know, I say I would get bored a lot. I know. But the rest of the gameplay is really good. February and Spring Bonnie's mechanics make sense. It's engaging, it's fun. Later on it gets better because it just gets engaging. That's all I gotta know. This sorry, I don't really have a script. Anyways, Final Nights 4 is a B tier. The first Final Nights Candy's game is a real classic. It's a game almost everyone has played, and of course it's in the Fnaf fanverse. I can't put this game in a low tier because it's so good in my opinion. The office is cool, the characters are unique. The only problem in my opinion, well there's several problems, is that it's way too easy sometimes. You can see the eyes on the characters near the door, minus Old Candy and the rat, and it ruins the concept of the camera sometimes. There's too much power in the game too, which would end the game in a B tier. Final Nights Candy 2 is my least favorite in the series in my opinion. It's not a bad game in any way. In fact, it's probably the same tier as Final Nights Candy 1, but slightly lower. The only reason is because there's not much to the game. Of course, you can get it harder around the 3rd night when everyone starts coming through. But when you start to understand the concept more, it's so easy. All you have to do is click telephones. They hear the telephones, you go to that area, boom, you have a perfect situation and you win the game. If you just click on telephones, that's it. It's a click and survive. And of course, a lot of Final Nights fan games are click and survive. But this is a main problem of the game. Of course, everything's cool, everything's great. I mean, the models are a bit odd, like the way they're withered, but I guess it's not a big part. It's like a personal opinion. But overall, not a bad game. B tier, same tier as Final Nights Candies, but if I could, I'd make it lower. But because of nostalgia, I'm going to put it a B tier. You know, Final Nights Candies 3 might be my favorite out of all of the 3 Final Nights Candies games for now. The 4th one could be better. You know, the 4th one looks really good. But for now, I want to say Final Nights Candies 3 is the best Final Nights Candies fan game for several reasons. To start off, this game has a really engaging storyline. I really like the concept of we are Mike Smith's sister. And throughout the 2 Final Nights Candies games, or just the first one, we are Mike Smith, the same guy in the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and now we're his little sister, and we're traumatized from something that happened that we find out in the later mini games, and we have to go through some nightmares. That's a very engaging concept. I don't say much about stories in several of these games, but that's because they're not too much of an underlying huge story. Games like AIM, I don't see a huge story to it, or the Chuck E. Cheese games, and there's nothing wrong with having big stories or lore. Of course, there could be games that doesn't need to have linear lore. Why? What's the point? But this game, I need to comment on the story. I really like that story. And the gameplay is kind of the worst part of this game, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's still really good. It's just Five Nights at Freddy's 4, but as creepy and as scary. There obviously are a lot of differences. It's not just Five Nights at Freddy's 4. For the gameplay, you have to deal with the monster rat at the first few nights, where he'll be in the closet or in a side of a room, etc. And eventually he's gonna come under your bed. You have to go under that bed. You're gonna see him up there or down there. You have to go back up from the bed, look the opposite direction, wait until he comes out of the bed, and then do some like flashlight sequence, and then he goes away. But that's the whole gameplay. That's the repeated gameplay. And I know I have a lot of issues with gameplay using the same thing over and over again, which ruins the formula because it gets repetitive at some point. But it's still enjoyable, and I guess they add Monster Cap, but Monster Cap doesn't really do anything either. You just gotta like look at him and he goes away. But I love Monster Rat's design. Monster Rat is probably one of the scariest designs for a Five Nights at Freddy's game I have ever seen. I used to be terrified of him. Admittedly, I'm still terrified of him. He's really creepy. This game is a really good I'm not gonna put both of these in an individual segment because they're both just variations of the actual Five Nights at Freddy's games. I'm surprised these games are still up because I think Five Nights at Freddy variations are just literal copies or taken down, but I guess this is a little bit different. It's challenging, more challenging than the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, the first Pony game or whatever it's called. I am not going to waste my time reviewing this. It was a waste of time, kind of. It was just Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 4 really, but like glitchier and buggier. So yeah, that's really it. I literally cannot find the Five Nights at Sonic games anywhere. I don't know what happened to them. Were they like abandoned or something? If anyone knows, please let me know. But I cannot find. But I remember seeing them. But now I guess they're gone. But they were just the same thing as the Pony game. They were variations of Five Nights at Freddy's with some minor changes. Just Five Nights at Freddy's, but Sonic and Mario characters. But then I found this game, which is like an Ultimate Custom Night type game with these characters that appeared. And it's not bad. It's different from actual Ultimate Custom Night. It's not a copy. Everyone has very unique mechanics. In fact, I would say some mechanics are more clever and better than actual Ultimate Custom Night. Obviously, I'm not saying it's better than Ultimate Custom Night. It isn't. Really, it isn't. But it's still really good. It's creative. It's really good for a Sonic Mario fan game. You don't really see much good ones of those. So I was impressed. I played this game for a bit. I tried out some challenges. 50-20 or whatever it's called. It's impossible. It's cool that there's a tutorial with dialogue. The characters are neat. I like a lot of some designs. Yeah, it's a good game. I don't have much to say about it, but I'll put it in an okay tier. There's like 500 Treasure Island games, and this is one of them. This is 1 out of 5,000. Let's just say this game is okay. This game is just in the same level as meh. This game is meh. It's not amazing. It's not horrible. It is in the middle where you can play it and you won't earn anything from it, but you won't lose anything from it. You're not technically wasting your time. It's cool. I was completely lost in the Pirate Cavern level, but I got there eventually. And my idiot brain did not understand Minnie Mouse because I kept like completely misunderstanding what to do with her. But okay, this game is okay. I want to put it in the same level as the Sonic Ultimate Custom Night game because I felt the same entertainment as I did with that game. The Holy Grail of Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. The first actual Five Nights at Freddy's fan game in the whole entire world. Ignoring that weird shooter Five Nights at Freddy's game made in Gmod or something like that. This is the first Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, Five Nights at Treasure Island. It is so special to so many people, yet it is still mid-game. How much that hurts to say. I'm still gonna give it a good tier, obviously. The first Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, first functioning Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, apart from Five Nights at Candy's. This game is so memorable. Everyone knows what Five Nights at Treasure Island is. Even your dad probably knows what Five Nights at Treasure Island is. I'm kidding. Probably not. Don't ask your dad if they know what Five Nights at Treasure Island is. He probably doesn't know what it is. But people in the Five Nights at Freddy's community is gonna tell you, yes, of course I know what Five Nights at Treasure Island is. There's several games of it. There's a remake of it. Everyone knows what Treasure Island is. And I played the whole thing. Took me a while to get the old build. For some reason they replaced Photo Negative Mickey with Willy for a few builds, but I'm just playing the normal actual game, and the normal actual game is okay. It is mid, as I said. And that hurts to say, because it's such a memorable game, nostalgic to a lot of people, but I didn't really enjoy it. But that's because it's really an own game. Like, you can't really enjoy a game like this too much. It's kind of the same level as AIM or the Evolution game, and I hate to say that. I hate to compare them, because Treasure Island is super special to a lot of people, but it really is. I was kind of bored, to be honest. When a game is good, it means it engages me. This game didn't engage me, but I still played through it for the nostalgia. The Jump Bucket is an okay game. It's an okay Five Nights at Freddy's game. It's an average Five Nights at Freddy's game, but it's very nostalgic to me. I used to play it a ton I love Fun at the Chum Bucket. I know there's a new one that came out by the same developer. Hats off to him. I personally thought this game was okay. It wasn't horrible, for sure. I never thought the animatronics were scary, because I mean they're just SpongeBob characters, to be honest. But I mean it's just closing doors, to be honest. There's vents too for Squidward and other characters. But yeah. So that's going to be it for part 1 of this Five Nights at Freddy's fan game tier list. It's already 30 minutes long, it's pretty long. So I'm probably gonna move the rest of the games that I'm going to be going over to a part 2, maybe a part 3, depends how long it is. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment if you think you disagree, you agree, it doesn't matter. Just remember that it's my opinion, but if you disagree with your opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. There's just Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. So, bye guys!